Good morning. I don't know if I should say, is that history and art or art and history? Because that was just awesome. Can we give him a little bit more love, please? Thank you. I am going to introduce the second speaker we have today, and this is Mrs. Dianna Donahue. She's an editor and publisher of the URBANE Magazine. I'd like to tell you a little bit about her profile. Miss Dianna D. Donahue is a Little Rock native, an educator, a UA Little Rock graduate, a mother, and the founder and editor-in-chief of URBANE Magazine, Central Arkansas, which is a leading Black lifestyle magazine. Dianna officially established the URBANE Magazine on February the 1st, 2015, on the first day of the Black History Month. Fearful of the total responsibility of this publication, she sat on the magazine for several years until the summer of 2020. When the national racial tension heightened, media was heavily broadcasting hatred against Black people. So she launched the first issue of the public on February the 1st, 2021. Dianna recently celebrated the beginning of the URBANE Magazine third year of operation. It has received several awards and noted acknowledgments and has become an extended Black culture in Arkansas. It utilizes images, stories, and educational approach to convey the fullness of beauty within the Black community in the state, present and past. Now, URBANE is Dianna's earnest contribution to the preservation of integrity and the enrichment of Black culture in the state of Arkansas. She uses this brand to inspire people to be altogether better to themselves, to their families, and to their communities. She hoped to leave a path for the future generations to be informed, to be inspired, aware, and well. Can we welcome Mrs. Dianna D. Donahue? Thank you. Okay. Good morning, everybody. The church girl in me wants to say, praise the Lord, everybody. I'm not gonna take up too much of your time. Thank you to everyone that thought of URBANE to be a part of this event. I'm truly honored. Get out of here. Uh-oh. Okay. My name is Dianna Demetrius Donahue, and I'm the editor and publisher of URBANE Magazine. As I was introduced, I started this publication with absolutely no experience in journalism. My passion for Black culture started as a little girl. My Black experiences, all of that, I pulled on those things to motivate me to create this magazine. My earliest experiences, I grew up, I don't want to say I grew up, but I'm originally born in North Little Rock. However, my mom and dad, we moved to Abilene, Texas, and then we moved to Killeen. And then we moved back here to Arkansas when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and that's when my knowledge of Black culture really heightened. I was raised as a military kid, so I was around a bunch of different colors of people, but when I got to Arkansas,
It's like my world just kind of became melanated. And so I paid attention to my environments and my circles, and I saw struggle and I saw triumph. My dad, say hi, Dad. That's my dad. My dad was very heavy into Black history, and I, for a long time, thought I was going to be just like him. So I followed in his footsteps, and I got really into Black history and Black culture. And about 8 years old, third grade, we learned about an extensive learning about Dr. Martin Luther King, and I was angry. I hadn't learned it to the depth of what we learned that year. And I went home and I started writing a letter. My dad was serving in the Air Force in another country, and I wrote him a letter because he was the only one that would understand my anger. I was so angry. I remember that like that was yesterday. But ever since then, I just continued to dive into Black culture and educate myself, become familiar with it on my own. And what I noticed was, although the world is paying attention to the world's Black history, I was living among people that were making Black history every day. Just in my family alone, on both sides. I grew up, I went to Stevens Elementary, didn't know the significance of that, with Ms. Charlotte being the first teacher, Black teacher, didn't know that. I went to Guyer Springs Elementary, I went to Parkview, I went to McClellan, I went to Crystal Hill, I went to, it was another one, but I'm going to all these different schools, and they're predominantly Black, and I'm seeing these Black people that are teaching kids every day, and they're empowering me, and I remember a lot of their names, and I was like, they don't, at an early age, they don't get the recognition that they deserve. I see the national attention on national names, but what about these people I'm growing up with every day? So that kind of lingered. I was a beauty shop teenager. 3 of my aunts were hairstylists, and I was there pretty much every Saturday. And I'm seeing Pamela Smith, and I'm seeing just different noted Black people coming into the shop getting their hair done, but I don't see them in the white publications. Around my teenage years, it was at the beauty shop, you had Right On Magazine, you had Sister to Sister Magazine, you had Ebony, you had Jet, and I saw all the national faces, but I'm like, Pamela Smith just came in here, and I don't see her in these magazines. Then I got older, and I found out that Helena Williams was writing for Arkansas Democrat Gazette. I didn't know that. Why don't I know this? These are people right here. Why don't I know this? And it kind of bothered me, but being young, you just kind of brush it off. And as I got older, I graduated high school, and I started single motherhood, 2021, and I had never felt so vulnerable and aware of how Black I really was until I became a mom, and of a Black boy. And I was terrified. I didn't know what to do, but I knew I had to survive. I had to be strong, just like the Black women in my family that I celebrated, the Black women at my churches that I celebrated. I had to be strong. So I found my first state job. I was excited. I got my benefits, and I can set up a life for my child. And then that's when I really started to deal with firsthand racism and sexism and bias. And from there, I was a secretary and very controlled secretary. I was watched because I was Black. I was the first face of a predominantly white office. They watched me like a hawk. They cut me out of opportunities for promotions, all of the things. I dealt with that. But one of the things that really made me hate the job was that we used to get the white publications. and I was the first one to see them because I handled the mail. And I used to go through these publications every day and see the faces, and they were predominantly white faces. And the black faces that were in them were generally recycled all the time. But I'm still in my circles. I'm still knowing that this pastor in this hood or this neighborhood is doing community service work and he's not in here. This teacher, this principal, this new entrepreneur, they're doing things and they're not in these publications. So I'm dealing with the racism every day, trying to get my paycheck so I can take care of my son. But I'm also building something inside of me that I needed to, unknowingly to me, that will become my magazine. So I was in getting my bachelor's at the time, and okay. I was getting my bachelor's at the time, and I was pursuing becoming a high school English teacher. And the closer that I got to finish, when you're pursuing a teaching degree, you have to do student teaching. And I couldn't do that because that required me to leave my job. So I thought that I would be stuck at this job. So I decided I'm going to learn something while I'm here so that if I just can't take it no more and I leave, I'll have something to put on my resume. And I was working at a computer, of course, and they had Microsoft Publisher, which is a real basic graphic design program. And I literally taught myself how to do templates and all the creativity and the fonts. I made this PowerPoint, things like this, make flyers. I learned this on the job. Didn't know what I was gonna do with it, but that helped me get through 8 to 5, Monday through Friday in my job. So I ended up, God made it fit to where I could leave and finish my degree in 2013. And I found out quickly when I got into the classroom to student teach that I didn't want to be an English teacher. There was something about middle school kids. I just couldn't do it. That wasn't my ministry. I'm just not equipped. So, but I'm now too far into this degree to change. But somewhere, by teaching myself how to use this application, I really want to do this full time. Still remembering the faces of Black people that I didn't see in the publications. Still remembering the stories of how Black people protested for our Black brides to be in the high profile section of Arkansas Gazette. I'm still remembering these things, and so I said I'm gonna apply for some positions at the local magazines and the newspaper. I did that for 3 years and didn't get hired. So it became this thing where if you don't see it, create it. I didn't know what I was gonna do, how I was gonna do it. I just went again on the accumulated experiences that I had, my drive, what my dad imparted into me, and I said I'm gonna try and figure it out. Scared, but I'm gonna try and figure it out. Then I went through a divorce and life just started lifing and got scared some more, and it's just not the time, it's not the time. And I sat on it and sat on it. Still was trying to go after jobs for the job security, because again, I have a son, I can't be without money, I'm trying to be a good mom. But the dream never stopped, the urge never stopped. And I just said, okay. Then I happened to learn about John H. Johnson, and that he's the man that created the URBANE Magazine, the whole Johnson publication company. And then I learned where he was from. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't have a lot, but I developed a skill set, learning how to create stuff. Part of my degree was in writing I have a basic knowledge of history. I have a basic knowledge of how to write essays and kind of got some historian experience. And if John H. Johnson can come from Arkansas City in the early 90s, even though he did move to Chicago, but still he came from there, and I'm here present day with all the resources that I have, why not? So in 2015, I made my template up. I got the whole ideal and the concept, and then fear set in again. Nobody's gonna take it seriously, all of the things, and I still went ahead and took my fear with me, and I went to the state, and I got my LLC, I got my DBA, I got the website, I got the stationery. I did all of it to make it official and did nothing with it because I'm still nervous. Who's gonna read? Black folks don't read. You know, kept hearing it. It's not true, but I kept hearing it in my mind. And sat on it, continued to sit on it. I did everything else. I helped people build their brands. I was trying to ignore it. I'm gonna dampen this. I'm gonna start this business. I'm gonna go back to school, get your master's. We're gonna do the counseling thing. Since we can't do the teaching thing, let's do the counseling thing. Everything I could do to ignore that, and it never went away. 2020 came, the pandemic, and all the race tension, and I didn't have an outlet. I was depressed. Our family lost 4 people. To the point I was so depressed, and just aside from what was happening in the world, I was depressed because I didn't know what to do, how to express what I was feeling. Then George Floyd happened. George Floyd was murdered, and it was like, okay, I got to do something. Let me write. I know that's safe. I didn't want to go out and protest because I don't want to lose my job, and that just seemed, that wasn't my thing. So let me write. And started writing, and just writing wasn't working. And it was like, you got to do something else. So just by chance, I was cleaning up because I was trying to, you know, get past just being in the house all the time. I was cleaning up, and I found an URBANE magazine that I had kept for years. And it was like, okay, this is it. This is the last sign. And I started working September 2020 and launched the first issue, official issue, on February 1st, 2021. And it has been very rewarding. I've been able to feature a lot of the faces that I grew up seeing. I still would like to feature more, but I'm able to capture the Arkansas history that I know of. The black jockey that was the highest paid jockey here in the state. I featured East 9th Street. I featured Mr. Cole. He's in the current issue right now. I have featured it's the number of people, and I'm learning more and more just how deep this history is just in this state, just how much history is here in this state. And what I'm also learning is that this state alone has been muted. Our black culture over the years since 1890 has been muted. And there's so many of us that have a story and no one to tell it to. And so I thank God that He has put me in this position to be the storyteller, to capture the history, to make it relevant to my generation, past generations, as well as future generations. So I'm on issue 15. These are all my covers thus far. You might recognize some of these faces, but this young lady was the first black fire marshal for Little Rock. Her story, nobody covered their story, but that's a big deal in such a male-dominated industry and a white male-dominated industry. She's the first fire marshal. These are the next generation of, right here in the middle, this is the next generation of black doctors. A lot of black doctors I grew up knowing are retiring, and we don't know who the new generation is for the most part. So I wanted to highlight them. Many of you know Bruce Moore at the top. This young lady, the second at the top, she created the HBCU Kid organization, where she takes students around the country to visit HBCUs so that they can know that there is another option for their post-high school education. Many of you may recognize Ryan Davis. He was running for, I want to say, District 34, and he tried twice and didn't make it. But what I felt compelled to tell about his story is that his campaign signs were very cultured, and he got a lot of slack about that. But I thought it was excellent, because why would you do a red, white, and blue campaign sign if you're really not trying to ride for the red, white, and blue? You're trying to ride for Black culture, and his colors were black, red, green, and yellow. And I just thought that was a very revolutionary type of movement for this state, and I featured him. This young man right here, if you've heard of True Sauce, the barbecue sauce brand, he won a very significant award and grant. So, in a nutshell, I just feel like we, as Black people, it don't matter what class you're in, it doesn't matter what clique you're in, it doesn't matter what bubble you are in, what level you are on, we all have a story, and we as a culture need to see these stories. We need to know about these stories. So I'm standing on the shoulders of quite a few people. These are the publications that I know of since 1860. I know that there are way more, but I only know of 40 newspapers. And again, even Daisy Bates and her husband, L.C. Bates, a lot of people don't know Daisy Bates beyond Little Rock 9, but they had a whole publication that was fighting for us. And like I said, John H. Johnson, there have been some more recent ones, magazines rather, right there, but I just wanted to be a part of that and stand on their shoulders and say thank you, because this work is not easy. Funding it is not easy at all, but if you have someone and you know someone that is trying to conserve our news, our voices, our experiences, please support them. Tell somebody, share, donate, whatever you can do to help is greatly appreciated. As of today, I'm on my 3rd year of operation. My magazine is available in digital and print. I have subscriptions and individual issues. Since I launched the first issue, I have printed over 2,200 print editions, and those are in circulation. I've had over 50 digital subscriptions and over 150 digital print subscriptions. On my social media, I have over 2,000 subscribers, 3,200 followers, and 1,600 likes. So I'm growing, and thank you. I'm growing, and I'm just trying to get the word out about our people. This is not something that I'm trying to get glory behind, because it's not about me, and I really don't like the attention anyway, but I would love for your support to spread the word. If you know a story that you think needs to be heard or shared, as long as they're Black Arkansan, I'm open. And this is the latest issue right here. I'm also often praised because of the quality. I don't know no other way to do it. I have to present the best, because I feel like we are deserving of the best. And the publications that I saw that we weren't in, I felt like mine had to compete with theirs, because why not? We are just as worthy to be in the good quality magazines as everybody else. So if you want, that's the social media you can follow. If you need to email me, it's theurbane@gmail.com. That's it. Thank you. Okay.
Excellent presentation.
Thank you.
How long does it take you, once you send your magazine off, before it comes back from the publisher, and has the cost went up on that because everything goes up?
Yes.
And then also, I work at Arkansas Tech University, and I want to make sure you put the magazine in the libraries.
Thank
and
you.
Talk to the libraries around the state to make sure that the magazine is there.
Okay. To be honest with you, I am pretty much everything. I'm everything. I'm the publisher, I'm the creator, I do the layout, I get the stories, I take the photos, I do the correspondent, I'm the secretary, I'm the everything. So generally, once I get an issue completed into the printer, the process usually takes about a week. I have reached out to get it in different locations, but a lot of people don't take me seriously, just to be honest with you. They don't feel like there's a need. And I feel like I'm not popular enough, so I'm just not taken seriously often. So if you have a place where I can contact, then I will definitely reach out and see if I can get the magazine there.
I'm very proud to say I'm glad I look like you.
Thank you.
I am, thank you. And I want my granddaughters to know you. So tell me how to subscribe to your magazine.
Let me put it
I
up.
want the actual magazine book.
Okay. You can order it online. Oh, here we go. You can order it online at that, oh goodness. At that website, or if you're tech savvy, you can scan that QR code right there in the corner, and it'll take you directly to the website. And from there, you'll see a button that will take you to the store, and you can order a subscription or an issue there, and it's print or digital, whichever one you want.
Okay, after a year, I'm gonna look for a coupon.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I commend you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
But I wanted to ask, how do you determine who to feature in your magazine? That's part one.
Okay.
Part two, are you limiting yourself to the Little Rock area or the whole of the state of Arkansas?
Okay.
I'm from Pine Bluff.
Okay.
We got it going on.
I know. I know.
We ain't what folks
I
say
know.
we are.
I know. I know. And as I dig deeper into Arkansas's history, Pine Bluff is it. And it has been it for a long time. But I'm not limiting myself to just Central Arkansas. I'm really trying to get all four corners. Because right now, the heavily saturated areas that are predominantly black are east, middle, and then heading east. But I'm also, and I want to cover that, but I also want to get to Northwest Arkansas because it's a lot of us there as well. However, I need help spreading. I don't limit to any, like I said, black Arkansan. Doesn't matter where you're from. I don't want to do the clicks because I don't want to keep recycling faces. That's the whole point of me doing this, and what made me so angry with the white publications, because yes, you are meeting your quota of black faces, but you keep using the same ones. And that bothered me. So I'm not limiting myself at all. And what was your other question?
What I was asking about, how do you determine
Yes.
feature?
Yes. So with the publication, it's kind of a weird business. I do have a content calendar for the entire year. So each issue has some assigned features. However, with publication, you got to get the news out as you get it. Because sometimes I may not have enough to cover an issue and I have to make up some stuff. So whatever I have on my plate as an option, whichever one that I feel is the most powerful of those things, that's usually what will go on the cover. But if I don't discriminate. I do have to, let me say this. So one of the things that I'm constantly told I need to write about is Black mental health. And there are a lot of Black therapists that want that out, and I understand that, and I'm going to get that out. But I can't make that every single issue. Does that make sense? So, because it's a lifestyle magazine. And so if I have 7 mental issue stories, I have to be selective in how I put them out, because every issue can't be that. But I will get to it. I promise I will get to it. So I have to, every issue is different. I have to just decide, make the decision what's on my option list for a specific issue. Yeah. You remember me? Do you remember me? Mm-hmm.
I've just been embarrassed my age. I'm not wearing the right glasses, but I recognize the voice and the tone, and I recognize the sincerity and the care that I hear. So what I want to say, and was I your counselor by any chance?
We worked at Hall.
Oh God. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I can understand what it is when you stated that every edition cannot be on a particular subject. Because when we look for magazines, we want information, informative, but we also want to be lifted up. And with that, we want a combination of just everything. So I really can understand how it is, how you would not want to constantly have a particular subject, because that would probably, again, after COVID, you know, we all need to be lifted up.
Yeah.
So I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And Sarah. So I remember. Very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just wanted to uplift you, be assured, is David Ware still here?
Oh, yes.
Is it, I don't want to say is it possible, but can you get this subscription for our state archives?
That's a big yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just have a comment. I am from Northeast Arkansas, up in Pocahontas, and your magazine came to Pocahontas, and I was so excited about that magazine. I could not put it down. It was just one story, great story after the other. So I'm just so proud to meet you in person, and you just keep on doing good things, because it's wonderful.
Thank you. Anybody else?
More questions?
And I would like to mention that this is a real word. It's not something kind of catchy that I made up. This is an actual word, and the definition stands for notably polite and polished in manner. And to me, that is the essence of Black people. Despite what you see on the news, despite how we're portrayed, we are actually good people. We are polite. We are kind. There's some systems that have brought out the worst in us. However, at our core, from where we started originally, we are urbane people. So just in case somebody, says she just being cute with her words, it's actually in a dictionary. So.